So today we're really going to dig into this whole AI and math education thing.
Yeah.
We've got this article here, and it's saying AI might actually be the key to changing how we learn and teach math.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting because it's not just like some far off thing.
Right.
This article highlights some things that are already being used in classrooms.
Which is pretty cool. And it starts off by talking about something I think we all know too well, math anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
That feeling you get when you've got a page full of equations and you're just like, oh no.
It's a real thing, and it really does prevent a lot of people from engaging with math the way that they could.
Holy.
But what I find really exciting is how AI can actually act as this, like, super patient tutor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, always there, no judgment, just kind of helps you along at your own pace.
And it's not just about making you feel better, right?
Yeah.
It's about helping you learn better.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is really the goal.
The article even specifically mentioned ChatGPT. And think about it, if you're struggling with some concept, you can have a conversation with this AI instead of just like being stuck with a textbook.
Right, like it breaks it down in a way that might make more sense to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so less anxiety, more personalized help, but it gets cooler.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're saying AI can actually tailor math problems to things that you actually find interesting.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Get rid of those dry textbook problems.
It's like, what if you could learn about fractions by, like, I don't know, figuring out how to divide a cake perfectly among your friends?
There you go. See?
That's way more engaging than just like, here's 14, here's 12.
Exactly.
And then what about those concepts that are hard to visualize? Like calculus.
Oh, yeah.
I remember staring at those equations just being like, what is this?
Well, and that's where this AI can come in and create these visualizations.
Okay.
So instead of just the equations on a flat page, think like a 3D model that you can actually interact with.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, they even talk about GeoGebra, which is a tool that does this.
So we're talking about taking something that was very difficult to grasp and making it almost like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, exactly. And that changes everything.
So we've got conquering that math anxiety, making it more engaging. But where do we even go from here?
Well, the article actually highlights a few different AI tools that are already being used.
Like what? Give me some examples.
So things like Wolfram Alpha, Symbolab. Have you heard of those?
Okay, yeah. Those sound familiar, but remind me, like, what can they actually do? Wolfram Alpha, Symbolab. Those names ring a bell, but what do they actually do?
So picture this. It's like having a math whiz on call, like 24/7, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what these tools are.
Okay.
They can handle these super complicated problems.
Right.
But the cool part is they don't just give you the answer.
Oh, so it's not about just getting the answer.
No.
It's about, like, understanding how you get there.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
all about those steps.
The process.
Yeah, they break it down step by step.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So it's almost like having that tutor there.
Exactly, guiding you through each step of the logic.
Okay.
And that can be huge, especially for visual learners.
Totally. Because then you're not just memorizing a formula. You're like, oh, that's the logic behind it.
Right, and that deeper understanding is what makes it stick.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember we were talking about GeoGebra earlier.
Yeah.
That's another one that's all about bringing those visuals in.
Right. The one where you can, like, build shapes and stuff.
Exactly.
I could see how that would make geometry way more fun.
Right, because it's one thing to read about triangles and angles,
Right.
but it's another thing to like actually build them virtually.
It's like the difference between, like, reading sheet music and playing an instrument.
Exactly. You actually get to experience it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Are you ready for like the most mind-blowing one though?
Okay, hit me.
Microsoft Math Solver.
What's that one do?
It can solve handwritten problems.
Right, really?
Yeah,
That seems like magic.
it's pretty close, right?
So I don't have to try to type in all those crazy equations into the calculator anymore.
You just write it down like you normally would,
Oh, wow.
and the AI just takes it from there.
That's got to be huge for students who, like, maybe struggle with the more technical side of things.
Absolutely.
It just makes it so much more accessible.
And again, it's not just about getting that answer, it still gives you those steps.
Oh.
And it can even like recommend practice problems to help solidify it.
So we've gone from AI being a tutor to AI being this, like, multi-tool that can do all these different things for you.
It really can.
Makes me wonder what else we haven't even thought of yet.
It's pretty amazing, but then the article kind of takes it a step further.
Okay, where does it go?
It starts talking about how learning the math behind AI can actually make math more engaging.
Oh, so you're saying, like, instead of being afraid of, like, the higher level math, you kind of lean into it.
Yeah, embrace it, you know? Because instead of just like Linear algebra, calculus, statistics, all these things that seem kind of intimidating.
Yeah, kind of scary.
Right. What if you thought about them as the tools that are driving all this cool AI stuff?
So instead of it just being equations in a textbook, it's like, oh, this is how self-driving cars work.
Exactly.
This is how, like, facial recognition software works.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Right. It becomes much more relevant.
Yeah, suddenly it's like you're learning the secret language of the future.
Right. And when you can connect those knots, it makes it way more interesting to learn.
For sure.
But of course, with any new technology, there are always those things we gotta consider.
Especially in a classroom setting.
Exactly. And the article talks about this too.
Like what?
Well, for one, data privacy.
Right, because we're essentially giving these AI tools access to how our brains work.
Yeah, how we learn, what we're good at, what we're not good at.
And is that necessarily a bad thing? And is that necessarily a bad thing?
Well, that's the big question, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have this amazing opportunity to personalize learning in a way we never could before.
Right.
Like, imagine if AI could spot those little misunderstandings someone has before they turn into, like, big problems later on.
Okay.
But to do that, it needs information.
Yeah, it's like walking that tightrope between, wow, this is really cool, and also making sure we're protecting what's important.
Exactly.
It kind of reminds me of when the internet first became a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was like all this potential,
Sure.
but we had to figure out the whole, like, online safety aspect as we went.
Right, exactly. And it's the same kind of thing here, I think.
Okay.
It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about, like, how do we use it responsibly?
Right.
And the article really stresses the importance of choosing tools from developers who get that, who prioritize things like data security and are transparent about what they're doing with that information.
So, like, do we know where our data is going, what's happening to it, that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. That's all got to be clear because we need to know that it's being used responsibly.
And what about students becoming too reliant on it?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like, I remember when GPS first came out, suddenly I, like, forgot how to get anywhere without it.
Right.
Could that happen with, like, critical thinking?
It's a valid concern. Are we trading, like, long-term skills for a quick fix right now?
Yeah.
And the article emphasizes that AI should be a tool, not a replacement.
Good.
Like, it needs to empower students, not do the thinking for them.
Gotcha. So it's about finding that balance.
Exactly.
Where AI is helping but not, like, completely taking over.
Yes, and the article talks about finding that sweet spot where AI is like this awesome partner for teachers.
Okay.
Where it's supporting what they're doing, helping them be even more effective.
So it's less about the AI solving all the problems and more about it helping us become better problem solvers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about understanding.
Right.
Like, think about a calculator, right? It can give you an answer super fast, but if you don't understand the how and the why behind it.
Right, then what's the point?
Exactly. You can't apply that knowledge in different situations.
It's about having that deeper understanding.
Yes, and that's what really matters in the long run.
This is really making me think about how we approach education as a whole.
Yeah, me too.
It feels like we're at this point where things could really change.
Absolutely. We're just starting to scratch the surface of what AI can do.
It's not just about making math less scary, although that's definitely a good thing, but it's bigger than that.
It's about, like, changing the entire experience of learning.
Making it something that's tailored and engaging and honestly just, like, more effective.
Yes, for
Yeah.
everyone involved.
Well, we've covered a ton today, from personalized tutoring to those interactive visuals and even the ethics of AI in the classroom.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It's clear that AI has the potential to really shake things up when it comes to learning and teaching math.
No doubt about it.
But just like with any powerful tool, it's got to be used thoughtfully and carefully.
Absolutely.
So if this deep dive has got those brain gears turning, keep exploring.
Yeah, check out those tools we talked about, see what you think.
We want to hear your thoughts, so get in touch and let us know what you discover.
Until next time.
Keep those minds hungry and keep diving into the fascinating world around us.